Okay, everyone, this is a recording of what was supposed to be in the information seminar on Saturday. Unfortunately, as I texted you all, we were unable to run the session, so I've put together a quick presentation just with the important information that you would have received on the weekend, and it's going to be in this video, so just it won't take too long, but it's a good opportunity for you guys to have a look at how best to prepare yourself for the last couple of weeks, and obviously also for the final testing and what's going to be coming in the final testing, and the judging for the challenge. So let's take it away. So here we've got an example of the final profiles that everyone received as of last year. So this is from our previous challenge. There are going to be a few changes and I'll go through them with you. But I've labeled pretty much everything on this sheet. It's going to look pretty much the same with a few changes. At the top, you can see the ID number, participant 2. So you're all going to be de-identified, obviously, as you guys can see as well. The heads are chopped off the photos, so no one can tell who is who. So we're de-identifying them as much as possible. So yeah, you'll all receive a random number that will be assigned to you, and that will be your ID number. Next to the ID number, you'll see the amount of sessions that were logged. Now, last year we logged not just the workouts. This year we're also logging our nutrition, so what we've been eating in MyFitnessPal. So where it says 52 workouts, you'll also have how many nutritional days or food diaries you logged as well. So there'll be both of them. That'll be your log sessions and your log diary entries. I'm going to continue on. I'll skip the bit that's been changed, but I'm going to continue on with the before and after photos. So as you can see, they'll be placed on top of each other. We've obviously kept the lighting and the camera and the lighting the same so that the photos are as similar as possible between the before and the after photos. It gives a good opportunity for you to see from a front, side and rear view as to the change that you guys are going to be making or have made over the last 12 weeks. And it'll be a nice easy way for you guys to have a look at that body composition change, whether it be muscle growth, fat loss, a bit of both, and that's going to be down to each individual. Down the bottom you can see 3 yellow boxes. The first one is your raw measurement data, so it'll just be weight, fat percentage and your muscle mass. We take that all from the scanner, so your before and after are both in there, as you guys can see. Next to that are your top progressions. So it's the top 3 exercises that you performed in over the 12 weeks. So let's say, for example, you started off being able to deadlift just 30 kilos. And as a real example, a real life example, jumping up to something like 95 kilos, which happened in the last challenge as well. That might go down as one of your top progressions. It could be your running distance. So if you've got more of a cardiovascular goal, I'm pretty sure that your running distance might go in there. So you may have only been able to run 1 kilometer, and then by the end of it being able to run 10 kilometers, that might go in there as your progression. But it's going to be individualized and it's going to be drawn directly from your Trainerize app. So that's another reason it is very important to log your sessions, and I have been very clear on that from the very start. In all the information sessions that we've run, very important to log your sessions, whether it be an actual session that you've done with a trainer, whether it be a freestyle session, whether you've made it up yourself, it does not matter. As long as it's in that app, I will be able to see it. I'll be taking your top 3 performances, your top 3 changes over the 12 weeks, and I'll be putting them in there as your progressions. If you do want a specific progression put in, regardless of whether it's your top or not, so let's say, for example, your deadlift may not have been one of the best performances. You may have run further, but you prefer the deadlift to go in there. I do need you to message me. Let me know so that I can put that one in there instead. Otherwise, I'll just be taking the top 3. Down the bottom is your anthropometry. So this is all the tape measuring that we've been doing. We're correlating that with the data from the scanner as well. Make sure it's as accurate as possible. That will be going in there. Obviously, you can see before and after for all those points that we had measured. Now, as you can see at the top, and I'll move back up to the top to that thing that's going to be changed. Last year we put up the total weight lost or the total weight gained. That's Unfortunately, the staff believe that that may have encouraged some people to judge based purely on the body transformation, your body composition goals. So we're eliminating that. We're not actually going to put it in there. It will obviously be down at the bottom in the raw measurement data. You'd probably have to work it out yourself, but that's not what this entire thing is based on. And we were also very clear from the start with that. So instead, what we're going to be putting there is your goal, the big goal that you had set yourself at the start, and whether you achieve that or not. So, you know, I know, for example, there's a few people in here in the challenge this time, their goal was a handstand. You know, if that's something that you achieved, that's going to be put in there. You know, your goal may have been muscle growth, that will be put in there. So it's whatever goal you set yourself at the start. And I'll go through how we're going to be able to tell whose goal was what later on in the information session. But that's pretty much what the profiles will look like. So it's important to understand that at the start, because knowing what the profiles look like and knowing what you're going to be judging on each other on is important, because then you know what you need to do to prepare for those final tests. With the judging, again, I'm going to reiterate how important it is to judge fairly, which is why we're taking out all the identity in all the tests. But you're going to be submitting in round one. You are all going to be judging each other. You're going to be submitting your responses. 3 points to the person that you believe has done the best transformation overall. So that is body composition, muscular strength, and muscular and cardiovascular endurance. Those three components, the major components. 3 points to the person you think performed the best, 2 to the person you think performed second best, and 1 to the person you think performed the third best. After that, you will then be able to allocate 20 bonus votes to anyone else. You cannot bonus vote someone you've given a major vote to, so those 3, 2, or 1 major votes, but you'll be able to allocate 20 bonus votes, and that's going to be used in a tiebreaker. You can allocate 20 to one person. I obviously don't recommend that. You might allocate it, 5 to 4 different people. You may allocate based on how well you think someone performs. So, might allocate 5 here, 3 there, 2 to this one, 1 to this person. It's up to you how you allocate those bonus votes, but essentially that's going to be your tiebreaker. And again, I really strongly recommend that you judge based on not only body composition, but also muscular strength and your cardiovascular and muscular endurance. So that's basically what obviously the judging sheets will look like. You'll all get access to that for a week after I've put them all together. So I'll spend a week putting that all together, and then you will all get access to that to be able to put your votes in. So how to prep for the final tests. Like I said, there are 3 major components and one fourth not so major component to all the judging. Now, the 3 major components, you will all have access to the information on, obviously, muscular strength, muscular and cardiovascular endurance, and body composition. The 4th one, you will not be judging on. That is your journey. It's your story. It's the things that people don't see. I know, for example, last time we had one gentleman that reversed his diabetes. That's impossible to actually view, but it's something that's important in judging, because it's something that it's a major change in someone's life. It's really, really difficult to do, but it's something that we can't actually show in the profiles. So that's where your journey and your story gives you an opportunity to put those things forward. That is going to be judged by the judges themselves. So round 2 and round 3, not everyone else. So these are obviously the 4 components that we're looking at. The most important 3 are the body composition, muscular, cardiovascular endurance, and your muscular strength. And obviously the last one, which only the other external judges will see, is your journey and your story. So how to prepare for your muscular strength? Well, in the last 3 weeks, we do have 3 weeks left as of the date this video goes out. I want to encourage you again, consistently log your workouts. Make sure that they're all being logged. You're not only logging them as checking in. Yes, that's important for getting obviously your points for how many logs you did. That's fine. But in terms of the exercises themselves, making sure that you are logging the weights that you're lifting, your volume, all that kind of thing, because that is what I'm going to be using to judge your change in strength. That's going to be put down in your profile as one of your top 3 progressions. If you're constantly logging your workouts, and you have been, then well done to you. You may, for example, log a workout where you've performed your best squat, and that might have happened 5 weeks into the challenge, and then you've just not been able to beat it again. That happens. It happens to everyone. It can happen at any time. So making sure that you're logging your workouts all the time, not only just checking in, but making sure that you're putting down the weights that you're lifting. Very, very important. Same thing with your running distance. Don't just log it as a run and don't put the distance in. If you can put your distance in, then I can see how far you've been able to run and your change in your running distance over the 12 weeks. My other recommendation would be to conduct a final rep max test, or in a cardiovascular sense, maybe a running test. But we'll go through that soon. But with the muscular strength, specifically a final rep max test, you'll need to speak to your trainer about this, or one of the trainers. It does not have to be your trainer. It can be any of the staff, to be able to do a final test. And I recommend to do it in the last week. Don't do it on the Friday, with the Saturday, like before the Saturday before the testing. Try and get it out the way on the Monday or the Tuesday. That way, if you do try and do your rep max test, you're not quite where you're at, and where you want to be. You may have wanted to break 100 and you only got to 95, like 99.5. Then you've got another couple of days to do another rep max test towards the end of the week if you really want to. Don't leave it to the last minute, but do try and do it in the final week. That is my very strong recommendation. Based on last time, we had a couple of contestants, actually 3 contestants off the top of my head, that did leave it to the last minute. They did their rep max test the day before the testing. On the other hand, they were also trying to drop body fat, so they were really not eating enough calories to be able to conduct a rep max test, because they were focusing on weight loss as well. They ended up coming in just below the goal lift that they wanted to, and then the day after the test was done, they actually conquered the lift. So you can see how doing that test too late might not give you enough time to actually knock out the best test you can. Get it done either at the end of the second last week or the start of the last week. So that's my recommendation with the muscular strength and how to prep for the final testing. Make sure you log it, and if you can, get a video of it. Get someone to video you. You don't need a video for us to prove that it happened. We believe the logging, but it's always good to have a video of your best lift. Just a little bit of extra motivation for yourself, something that we can share on social media, all that kind of stuff as well. Endurance, again, same thing. Log your workouts consistently. I've been through that one already. You've got 3 weeks. Build up to your final long distance, whether it be run, row, or cycling, or whatever it is. Build up to your final one, and then try and pick a day where you can just knock it out. You've eaten well the night before. Get up and do your run, your row, your cycle, your swim, whatever it is. And use a partner to help you, whether it's someone in the challenge or outside the challenge. Definitely get someone to help you go on that run, go on that swim, go on that row, and really just knock out as much as you can, run as far as you can, all that kind of thing, hitting your goals. Those are the 3 kind of tips that I would give you. And same thing, do it at the start of the last week or the end of the second last week. That's the kind of the time frame you should be looking at this kind of stuff for. Body composition. So this is the third of the 3 major components of the tests and the profiles. Keep focused on your goal. I know, having spoken to a lot of you, there's some people feeling a little bit demotivated, a little bit down. You may have set your goals quite high and not being able to reach them. Remember what I said at the very start. You're meant to set your goals high, but know that if you don't 100% reach them, you can still come in underneath and still do really, really well. One of the biggest points is that people seem to be judging themselves based on other people. Thinking, oh, well, I'm not doing so great, but they look like they're doing really well. But on the other hand, those other people are thinking the same thing back. Keep focused on your goal, not other people's goals. Keep focused on your goal. Try and achieve what you set out to achieve. You still got 3 weeks. That's plenty of time to get some good work done. Have a chat to your trainer about manipulating both your calories and your workouts for the last 3 weeks. It should be, depending on what your goal is, whether it's pure muscle growth, whether you're trying to trim down that final couple of kilos or body fat and really shred before the last test. Speak to your trainer about manipulating your calories and your workouts, your fluid intake, all of that kind of stuff for the final week. And build into it. You have 3 weeks to build into it. Don't try and do it at the last minute. Get onto it now. Get onto it ASAP. Speak to your trainer and get them to help you manipulate your calories and workouts so that you are prepping in more of like a bodybuilding style of prep for the last 3 weeks. And that is going to really help with your before and after photo, making sure that you look really good for that final photo for a good comparison. Your story. So this is something we haven't really touched a lot on, mainly because, especially off last challenge, it was kind of suggested through a lot of feedback that we dumb this down a little bit. It's still quite important, again, because we want to see the things that people don't see. Have you been dealing with, some sort of chronic illness like diabetes? These are these are real life examples, things that happened last time that I'm giving you, things that people made changes in that you can't see just by looking at someone. What kind of changes have you made that people cannot see? Put that in your story. You have a page, an A4 page of maximum to tell your story, and only the judges, only the external judges that don't know anyone here will be reading them. It is not for other people to see. But it's your opportunity to show the judges what you have been trying to do, what you've been working towards, the things that you have overcome, the barriers that you've overcome to get to where you are. What have you achieved in this challenge? It's a good opportunity to sum it all up and give it to the judges and say, look, hey, this is what I've done. Again, it's not going to be the thing that they're judging mainly on. Those first 3 components are the body composition, the muscular strength, and the muscular endurance. They're the 3 major components, but this is something that might get you over the line compared to someone else. All right. So your final submissions, the last thing that you will need to do for the end of the challenge, you'll all be sent a link through the WhatsApp group, and you'll be expected to submit your final submissions before the Monday. So you'll be tested on the Sunday. You have until close of business on Monday. So our close of business being 9 o'clock on Monday night after the testing is done to complete your final submission so that I can have the rest of the week to set up all the profiles. What's going to be in that link is your feedback for the challenge. This is your opportunity to tell us how you thought it went, what you thought, how you felt you did. This isn't just for your story and your goals and all that kind of stuff. It's to tell us what you thought about how it ran and what you'd like to see next time. Again, very important for us to be able to see and make changes, if necessary, or bring back the things that you liked for the next challenge that we do next year. Number 2, your story. So this is where you're going to submit your story. And number 3, it's also going to be the spot where you put in what your goal was and whether you achieved it or not over the 12-week period. Okay, so we need to know that again so that I can put your final profiles together. That again is to be done by Monday of the close of business Monday, the day after the testing is complete. That's pretty much it, guys. That's all the important information. Obviously, with the seminar, it wasn't supposed to go for too long, 1 to 2 hours. I've really kind of, dumbed it down, made it really easy to consume in this video. We would have gone through a lot more stuff with more people there, but that's the important stuff. If you have any other questions, please don't hesitate to reach out to me, reach out to Claire, reach out to your trainers. And we're here to help you get through those last 3 weeks. And get all the way through this challenge, and very excited to be able to give out the awards at the final awards night on the 27th of July. So good luck, everyone. If you have any questions, please don't hesitate to reach out.